we're less than a week away from a new month. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, August was jam-packed with all sorts of cool movies. I'm going to talk about some of these movies and what stood out to me the most. Give this video a thumbs up. Dark Room Reviews is the place to be for movie reviews. A little bit of entertainment out of your day. Hi, I'm Joel. I'm looking at 6 films. 4 of them I watched exclusively in theaters and 2 of them on streaming services. Now let's start off with The Bad Guys 2. It is another DreamWorks picture. It's a sequel to The Bad Guys. Animated film, very funny. The animation style has improved. It seems like each film that DreamWorks puts together for families, they get more and more better in terms of story wise. They knocked it out of the park here. Again, humor, I found myself laughing. It's for the kiddos, yes. Voice cast is back once again. Sam Rockwell, Craig Robinson, Awkwafina. It has, all the makings of a genuine animated film. Next up we have The Talk of the Town. Yes, that's Weapons, directed by Zach Cregger. I got a chance to see this one on opening day. First and foremost, when the trailer hit online, I was genuinely surprised. I was hooked. Just for the fact that 17 kids from one classroom got up in the middle of the night, walked out of their homes, disappeared. The parents don't know where they went. And that's the mystery surrounding the movie. I had a good time with it. It's not what you expect, but not to say that's a bad thing. It is a mystery within a mystery, I think. It is an enigma. It is damn entertaining. The performances, Julia Garner, great here, turned in a great performance as a teacher caught in the middle of this controversy. Is she to blame? Is she responsible? We also have Josh Brolin, who is a concerned parent. Where did his son go in the middle of the night? Who is responsible for all this chaos? And we find throughout the movie gives us small hints and clues about what's going on, and of course by the end we get the big picture. I think the star of this film is the way that the story is told. This film's broken down into chapters. We get a point of view of each character within the film and how they contribute to the story itself. It's all grand. I think Zach Cregger's got another hit here. I learned to love Barbarian, and I look forward to what he does next. I think he's going to tackle a Resident Evil film. There is a lot of material there he could work with. Next up we have Together, another horror film. This time around it is a body horror film. And that subgenre has really taken off within this past year. We had The Substance. Now this film stars Dave Franco, Alison Brie, struggling with some things, love on the rocks, deciding whether or not they want to stay together, and they get an opportunity to spend some time out of town, and that's when all the trouble starts. Look, this film caught me by surprise. I think there was a lot of stuff here to really enjoy. But I would say for the die-hard horror fans, don't expect this movie to bring the heavy elements that is body horror. There are subtle moments here and there, but it's really the tension, the suspense, the unraveling of the mystery. It's what this movie brings together, hence the titles Together. Alison Brie and Dave Franco really put on a show. They really convince us that love hurts and do what it takes to stay together in the end. The next 2 films are stinkers. What do you know? They are both from streaming services. The first one I saw was The Pickup. It is streaming right now on Amazon Prime, and it stars Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, Keke Palmer, Eva Longoria. Now, in a nutshell, this movie's not funny. It is forgettable. And the 2 leads, I was expecting them to have some sort of chemistry. bring the humor at least, but no, they didn't bring either one. Essentially, we have two co-workers who have to transport an amount of money within this vehicle. Now, where Keke Palmer plays into this movie is she's the villain. She comes up with this plan of hijacking this vehicle and stealing the money for herself. Now, going forward, we have Eddie Murphy, who I was expecting, a veteran in his own right, actor, comedian, to bring some humor, but he just, played it straight. I mean, I don't know. Part of me, is convinced that he's on his last legs of his acting career, I think. But, as Pete Davidson, at least, again, he was Pete Davidson. I mean, he didn't bring any style of humor, really. It was just a lot of bickering between the two, and it was a bit of a disappointment because they have that potential to bring something to this movie, and they didn't even have chemistry, and that was another letdown. It really falls on them. And as for Keke Palmer, she kind of felt odd as this third wheel, and she wasn't. There's something odd about her performance here. I wasn't convinced that she was this villain, and it just all falls flat. Like I said, back to what I said, easily forgettable. Next up, we have an animated film called Fixed. Now, I saw that on Netflix. It's streaming right now. The story's not that great. Essentially, we have an animated dog who is about to get fixed, and he wants one last hurrah. He wants to go out and venture out and meet a female dog so he can have hanky-panky with. Now, that's really the gist of this movie, and along the way we get some terrible adult humor. Like I said, this movie is an instant skip. I think the animation is very distracting and doesn't take away from the fact that this movie sucks. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, Fixed is easily forgettable. Skip. Last on my list, we have Nobody 2. Again, this movie's more savage, more heavy on the fight sequences. If that's not the movie for you, then skip it. But this time around, Bob Odenkirk and his family are out on a vacation, and trouble seems to find him no matter where he goes. Christopher Lloyd's in this movie. He's funny as well as a grandfather. If you're waiting for this to hit streaming, it should be streaming on Peacock within the next month or two, I'd say. But it's worth a check out if you really enjoyed the original film. Alright guys, those are my films that stood out to me for the month of August 2025. Guys, what is the one film that stood out to you? Leave your comments below. Guys, I can't wait to share more content with you this week. Look out for more content. Dark Room Reviews is the place to be. Folks, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out in the long run. Dark Room Reviews, it's the place you should be subscribed to. Join the channel. It's free.